welcome back. Here I am doing another video. Just had supper. It was delicious. Thanks for asking. And I wasn't quite ready to sit in my chair, so I decided to come out here to work on the Ford a little bit. Just had a couple of small dinky things I was going to work on. Unfortunately, I still don't have the battery tray back from Maple Grove. They're busy, and they said that next time they do sandblasting, they would throw it in. So I'm simply waiting for other projects to go in the sandblast booth to be sandblasted. So, and then I've only asked them to primer that thing, so I'm sure it'll be any day now. So anyway, we're still can't start the tractor. I did get a battery. Mark down at the store sold me a battery. So that's here. I think I'm going to go to the battery tray. But I thought I would play around with that missing mystery fuel line. So let me show you what I got. Okay, if we remember a couple videos ago, I ran into this plastic line that goes from the back, the injector pump, looped around and went into the back side of the filter housing here. It had a piece of rubber hose in there with 2 clamps. I just simply didn't like it. So, in typical Andy fashion, I I took it apart, and just to see what it was made of, I cut it up. Guess I didn't think about having a fail-safe, but then I found out that that line doesn't exist. It could be just made with plastic tubing, but I pretty fussy, and I didn't want that. So, did some research. I think I have an answer. Here is one end of that plastic line. It's just a tube nut. It's just a tube nut, like brakes, with this ferrule on it. That ferrule has a tapered cone on it. But I looked at that and I thought there had to have been a better way. So one idea I had is I have access to a lathe. I had my dad pretty handy with it. I asked him if he could just make this. And what I thought I would do is just make this little piece, which still might be a backup plan if what I have fails. But I asked my dad if he could make that, and he's like, well, sure, we can make anything. So I was thinking about having to make that out of steel or aluminum, and I would just slide it in the tube nut, plug it in there, and then just put a hose on here and just clamp it. But I did some research, and of course I went online, and look what I found. This is a brass hose barb. It's a brass hose barb, single piece. There's no moving pieces in it, but it looks almost identical. I wonder if I could zoom in on this a little bit. It looks almost identical. Whoop, dropped it. It looks almost identical to the piece that come out. Oh, sorry. So some of the things that I checked, it's the same thread. It's a half by 20 thread, so it's the same thread. It has, you see this, let me get my pointer out. On this ferrule here, you see this flat spot right here between the threads. Where are you guys? Right here. On the thread and the taper right here. This brass fitting I found has the same flat spot right there. So the only difference is the angle of the taper. This one is sharper, steeper than this one. This one's a little flatter. So what I did was, probably totally irrelevant, but to make myself feel better, I took my calipers. Are they 0? Yep. I took my calipers, and you can actually see, maybe hard on camera, but you can actually see where this thing bottomed out inside the injector pump and in the filter housing. And if I measure that, I got 320 thou. So I took my same 320 thou and I put it on this taper here, and it hits it right in the dead center of that taper. So I think this is going to work. So the next thing that I did was, hold on guys, I'm going to carry over the tractor. The next thing that I did was I threaded it in here, and I wanted to make sure that the taper was going to hit before the hex bottomed out against there. So I screwed it in until it hit. And if you look, there is a tiny little gap between this hex of this brass and the base of this injector pump here. So that tells me that that taper on the end of this fitting hit that taper that's inside this housing a split second before it bottomed out. I feel very confident that this fitting is going to sit in there, even if it's not the correct angle. The fact that it's going to wedge in there, I think it's going to work. I believe this little pump here on the side of this thing, I believe Dale said it was only 10 or 11 psi or so. That's pumping into the filter housing coming around. So I don't think it's going to take a lot for that to seal. One other insurance policy that I think I'm going to do is maybe good or bad. I don't know. Probably get some comments from the peanut gallery after they watch my video, but I don't know why I can't put some Teflon tape on there. Also, if it gets past that taper on the end of this brass fitting, maybe the Teflon tape will stop it. Normally you wouldn't put Teflon tape on a fitting that has a taper on the end, like a JIC hydraulic hose, because the taper is what seals it. So I really don't think I need the Teflon tape, but in this application, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. So one last thing I'll show you is here on this filter housing, just so happens to be the exact same thread, 1/2 by 20. And I got big fans. Threads in there, and look at that. It stops just before the hex head hits the filter housing too. So I think I'm going to be okay there. So I'm going to put tape on these, thread them in, get a piece of hose, and we're going to circle this around and run it into the back of the pump. At one time I made the comment I was thinking about coming out of here because there is, well, you know, I don't have my light on, but trust me, there's see how that's got an in arrow. There's an, what is that one? That's an in arrow. This is an out. That one also points out, but Dale, he immediately said, don't bother. So, Dale, you don't know how desperate I want to be to open this up and see if, in fact, but I decided it's been in there forever and ever. It's probably a steel nut in an aluminum housing. I'm liable to cause myself more grief than it's worth. So, Dale, I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to leave that plug alone. We're going to get the fuel out of the filter housing here. We'll just circle this around, make a straight shot into that injector pump. So let's put some tape on these and get them installed. Okay, I got my Teflon tape on these, so I'm going to set them aside, let them dry. And while that's drying, Dale watched one of my last videos, and he did not like this fuel line outside the starter. So what I think I'm going to do, for cosmetic reasons, I think I'm going to reach up under the fuel tank here, and I'm going to turn that, the petcock in here, the fuel shutoff valve, I'm going to turn it, tighten it just a sliver. I'm going to get this fuel line in behind the starter. It'll come out here and go in. So I'm going to take it off of here, wrench on that fuel tank a little bit, and see if we can make it look a little better. I'm assuming this wrench is wrong. It is. Damn it. All right, got it. Second try. That ain't bad for me. Does it not swivel? I thought it did. It swivel when I put it on. Yeah, the other end don't swivel. Oh, I see. I'm loosening the I'm loosening the nipple that's in the bottom of that, not turning the hose. That's another wrench. Tighten that back. There we go. Got fooled by a swivel. All right. This valve is actually hex shaped. So a wrench does go on it. I'm all nervous about what size wrench because I'm going to make 10 trips to the toolbox. Oh, man. Give me the laughing stock of the wrench drawer. Not that one. If it's an inch, I'd grab the 7/16 and try that first. That's how I roll. You gotta be kidding me. Good thing the drawer is right behind the camera. Goes on here. It's too big. Must be this valve is in the way. I think I gotta grab that from the other side. As long as I'm walking by the door, I'm grabbing like 3 wrenches. Okay, I gotta go under the starter cable. The battery cable for the starter. There. Go back there. There, Dale, how's that? Is that how you would do it? It does look a lot better tucked over there. It lays in a nice little spot under the tank here. Okay. Just make sure that nipple is tight. Now we'll tighten the hose up. Okay. Okay. Got that. Now let's put those brass nipples in. They're probably dry by now. Okay. There's the one in the injector pump. One in the fuel filler housing. They don't thread in as easy with that tape on there, but I guess that's the point. I'm going to grab a wrench on the first try. I'm going to try real hard to get this right. I believe this is it. Oh, come on. Darn it. What a joke. I guess that's why I do tires. I can never get the wrong spoon. Pathetic. I might just edit all of that out so you guys think I'm a rock star mechanic and grab the wrench, the right wrench the first time. I don't want to go too hard on this, I don't think. It's just brass and it's not much pressure, so oh, good. Okay. Let's go see if I can find some fuel line now and a couple of spring clamps. Okay, this fitting, got my calipers here. This fitting looks to be bigger than 1/4 inch. Just for fun, let's measure it. 35.55. 355 thou. So 1/4 inch, I think it'd be a little too small. 5/16 is 31.25, so just a squeak smaller than this. So I think these brass fittings I got will probably gladly accept a 5/16 hose. Let's go to the supply closet, see if we have any 5/16 hose. Voila, 5/16 hose in stock. So it's right on there, made in China, 7.9 millimeter fuel hose. Do the math in my head, 7.9, 5/16. Okay. So that is 5/16 fuel line. And, oh yeah, goes right on. When I say goes right on, that was a small fight. Got it. Let's give that a nice little loop. I would say that looks like it does good there. Got my fish cutters. Cut it right there. Just for fun, you know what I think I'm going to do? Today while I was at work, I had Uncle Ray come up, and he actually put fuel in this tank. Just to help speed the process up before I go smash this onto that fitting. Let's fill this filter up with fuel. At least I'll know I'll have it to the injector pump. I don't feel like smelling like diesel, so we'll put some rubber gloves on. All right, let's open up the petcock until fuel comes out of this line. We'll see if Uncle Ray put the fuel in the right tractor. Told him the blue project tractor. We'll see if he got the memo. I remember these two wrenches from a few minutes ago, so. Yep, we got fuel. Not as much fuel as I thought there'd be. Get this petcock open. Bunch of turns. Like 10. No fuel coming out of that. Oh, there goes this bubble. Coming or what? There we go. It's jizzling out now. Okay, that smells like diesel fuel. All right, so we got fuel here. Now we gotta see if we can get it to drip out of this filter housing next. We got a drip. Okay, well, we got it at least to here. Look at that. That tells me the filter is full. I got fuel coming out of this hose now. Excellent. By the way, that was about 45 seconds. We're gonna stick it on. Get that clamped. Now, one thing I want to keep an eye on Now that I have these brass fittings in there, I keep an eye on underneath them here and see if they're going to leak now that there's fuel there. I'm pretty sure, again, this might be a Dale or a Corey question, but I don't think I can hand pump fuel through this injector pump. I think it has to be ran. I may be wrong there, but I think I'm going to wait for instructions. So I think I got fuel to the pump. I'm going to wait there. I did learn today, Dale told me that there's actually oil in this injector pump. I did not know that. He gave me a 2-second lesson. He said, make sure to change oil in the pump. So let's open up the fill port, the sight hole, and the drain in the bottom. See if there's any oil in that pump. Oh, man. Thought for sure. That was 7/8, so I'll grab the 15. Hey. Where did that drain hole go? This is it right here. Ooh, that was not very tight. There's fuel in it. Only a cap full. Okay, so that answers the question. There's nothing in it, per se. Well, we'll say a tiny little bit of diesel fuel in it, which isn't a bad thing. That probably helped clean it out. So, go to the supply closet and squirt some, I got a ketchup bottle with some engine oil in it. I'm going to drizzle a little through there. Okay. The ketchup bottle only has 2 inches in it. Probably not enough to fill it, but just let a little bit drizzle through as to clean it out, so to speak. It's running right out. It's coming out beautifully clean. Okay. The instructions are to put oil in it till I get some out of this little hole. Apparently this particular injector pump does not get oiled by the engine oil that's in the engine. It's got its own reservoir. I guess you're supposed to change it every oil change. Oh, man. Well, didn't have enough. Hold on, I gotta go fill up my bottle. Oh, there it comes. Uh-oh. Oh, here's the plug right up here. Extra squirt for good measure. In case it leaks. Okay. Got my ketchup bottle draining up here on the top. But anyway, you guys have probably seen in the last 4 or 5 videos this intake boot here, this elbow. As you can see, it's all fraying apart, and I hate it. Not only is it a wonky color, but it is all frayed and deteriorated, probably the original. So if you guys know me, junk. That thing's going in the garbage. Let me grab my Those two pipes do not appear to be the same size. This looks to be about 2 1/4, 2.2835. So it's just a squeak over 2 1/4. This one appears to be 2.0060. So this is 2 by 2 1/4. This is what's called a reducing elbow. It's what's called, even though in this case it's increasing size. The air comes down this pipe and into here. But that's just a 90 reducing elbow. Let me go to the supply closet, see if I got one. Okay. 2-inch. Or I'm sorry, 2 1/4 reducing elbow. Bingo. Let's come up with some clamps. Okay. Went to the supply closet. I don't think I'm a hoarder, but I found these two pretty nice clamps here. That one fits over the 2-inch. That one fits over the 2 1/4. Let's see. I'm a fan of looking at those, so I'm going to try to put them on so they're facing that way. There, I think that'll work. A nut driver here. Maybe I'll point them up. I guess it don't matter. I need to stop being so fussy. One thing I've learned on working on this tractor is I am way fussier than I need to be. Or maybe you guys don't think so. I don't know if it's a good trait or not to be fussy, but okay. Look at that. Took care of that. All right. I think the next thing I'm going to do, let's go to the other side and see what kind of mischief we can get in on that side of the tractor. So I've used this Lucas Oil engine break-in oil additive before. I have a project truck over in the corner. Some of you know about, some of you don't. But when we started that thing up, we put this stuff in. Dale gave me this. So I'm going to put that in first because it's kind of thick. But then after that, Dale gave me the engine oil to put in it. So I don't know if I necessarily need a funnel. Let me go to the other side. That might be easier. Okay, I'm going to let that drizzle for a minute. So that's in there. I'm going to go over here in the stash of jugs over here. I think Dale provided me with some engine oil. Look a look. Okay. Dale did provide me with a jug of oil, 1540. It even says New Holland, so that is fantastic. This will be wrong. Oh, damn. I tell you what, we're going to do cake, a big party. Yes. The day that I get a wrench right. I'm known for one thing, it's... Okay. No offense, Dale, but I have found a lot of things loose on this. And I'm glad I checked this. It was loose. Dale did not tighten the drain plug. There. inch for future reference. All right. Let's pour some of this in. I'll probably pour in 2/3 of it anyway and then check it. Probably after we start it, we'll have to add because it'll fill the filter and all the galleys and stuff. There, I got about that much left. Let's check the dipstick. See if it's even on it. Oh yeah, it is on the dipstick. A little confused by the markings though. Give a rag. Oh, it's on the step. There's a line. Above the line it says full. Below the line it says add. Guess I'm just used to dipsticks having 2 lines. The word full. I'd be willing to bet this thing is just missing a line. Show you what I'm talking about. You see that? See the word add? Come on, camera, catch it. Add, and then there's a line, and the word full, no line. But, can't see on camera, but it does look like somebody went after this with a piece of sandpaper or something. I wonder if it almost looks like I'll ask Dale tomorrow. Looks like the word add, and then there's a line. It looks like there might supposed to be hash marks in here, and then a line right there and the word full. So I'm going to take the oil level up, educated guess, to be just below the letter F on the word full. I'll bet you that within the width of my finger there is going to be where the safe zone is. I'll ask Dale tomorrow. Oh, and I'm already past that. I'm up to the letter U, the word full. So I think that's all I'm going to put in it. I will report to Dale tomorrow that I put in. I put in 2 gallons exactly because this is a 2.5 gallon jug. Right there's a gallon, that line right there. So I have exactly half a gallon left. So I'll find out if this tractor holds 2 gallons. That's what I put in it. Okay. Oops. Stick this. Uh-oh. Not sure what to think about this. If anybody knows anything about me, this cap, you guys see that? Didn't notice this before, but this cap, that crack in that felt, cardboard, rubber, what that is, but it's cracked. And it looks like it had this gasket square O-ring in there, and I don't know if that's factory or not. You know me, I'm fussy. It's got to be right. So I'll be inquiring about a cap. I'll inquire about a cap tomorrow. If that's been kind of jerry-rigged down there, that is not going to fly. Just for fun, let's check the oil again. Yep, now we're up to the letter L, so it's gaining oil. All right, I say we let's put antifreeze in it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to put antifreeze in it. My shop is not freezing. It's probably 48 or almost 50, 49, 50 degrees. So I'm just going to put straight water in it, just in case we got to start over for some disastrous reason. But I'm just going to put water in it. this thing got a petcock on it? Look at it right here. The chance of it being shut. It appeared to be shut. Yeah. All right. Let's put some oil this little reservoir. We have the correct cap on there, which I appreciate. Funnel right here. This is the same hydraulic oil per my instructions that are in the back of the tractor in the rear end there. So got a picture of it here because I feel like once we start this thing, I just empty this right out. I better put this back on. There, got it. It's a little too full, but